Recently, all the DIY skate spots that I've built have been destroyed. On this channel, I make a lot of videos about DIY skate spots, so if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button under this video while we're at it. Ironically, the very first DIY skate spot that I ever built is still there, or helped build, I should say, is still there, and it was in the most sketchiest possible location.
The very first DIY skate spot that I ever built wasn't intended to be a skate park or anything like that. The craziest part about the spot is that it's still here. It's been so long. Like, my friend Truman actually built it. I was just kind of a lending hand. I got involved somehow. I got lucky. We were working on a project for the Skateboard Mag when I worked for them. Point being is that that's kind of how I got into DIY projects, is from other friends that do it. We thought it was going to be gone the next day for sure, but it is still here somehow 10 years later. It's crazy that the city actually put more asphalt over the transition. They didn't take it out or anything like that. So a lot of times you never really know what environment you're working with. Sometimes you have to go for it and try, and sometimes the spot that you think is going to be torn out the next day is there 10 years later. This might be the worst place to ever build a DIY skate spot. There's a freeway right there with traffic on it. You can see everything that's going on. Really busy road literally right here, but there is some perfect banks. Now you see there's like a bank right here that's just pushed over, Jersey barrier pushed over. Like, who knows what's going to happen? It's just kind of crazy. You never know what spots will stick and what spots will get demolished.
Now, when you think about the legendary DIY skate parks that are still existent, still standing, like Burnside, Washington Street, Marginal Way, FDR in Philadelphia, they all have one thing in common. And what that is that they're all under a bridge. Here in San Diego, we have Washington Street Skate Park, which is an amazing skate park built entirely by skateboarders. And now it is a city sanctioned skate park. It is still operated and maintained by skateboarders. So skaters are opening and closing it every day, and they're maintaining it and upkeeping it to sort of gatekeep and keep it in the skaters' hands while the city has approved the skate park overall. Typically under these bridges, there's very little space for infrastructure or for anything really, retail spaces, anything like that. So a lot of times, naturally, that environment is adapted by the community that is already there. And a lot of times under these bridges, there's already asphalt or some sort of foundation to start building at and building a skate park at. So all these combinations make it a great location to start building a DIY skate park. But there's one thing that ultimately plays a big factor in this, especially here in California. The state highway system in California is a network of highways that are owned and maintained by the California Department of Transportation, aka Caltrans. Caltrans is part of a cabinet-level California state transportation agency. So what this essentially means is that Caltrans and the city have to work together with anything on the property, anything like that. So if the city has a problem with something going on that property, like a DIY skate park, for example, they have to go to Caltrans and work through that through Caltrans. And the point that I'm trying to address here, it creates more of a bottleneck. There's more friction. It's just not for the city to just take it or for a private property to just demolish it. So the idea is here that it creates a little bit of a loophole. Other states do have their own laws, like in Philadelphia, there's FDR, for example. They have probably a very similar thing, just not Caltrans like we have here in California. So searching for the right spot to build a DIY skate spot will definitely dictate how long it actually lasts. Under bridges is a really good place to start versus something like a slab. I recently started to build at a slab and was trying to build a whole skate park series, and it ended up getting demolished because it was on private property. However, that didn't really stop me. Doesn't always stop people. Like in Oceanside a couple of months back, for example, Turdside DIY was built on private property. It was someone's property that actually commented on my channel after I posted a video about it, and eventually it did get demolished. Everyone there knew that it was a matter of time before it got demolished. However, it didn't stop them from going out there and trying to make it happen for themselves. And something that's really good about that is you're getting the community activated. Most likely those people that got involved with that DIY skate park will be willing to do it again if you do find a better location to build it at. Building at a slab or something like I was building at is a matter of time, like all the examples I had just given, because there is going to be a purpose for that property. However, there are rare examples and rare times where the city or a big company has stepped up and purchased that property in order to actually keep it as a skate park. Most DIY skate parks do get destroyed because they're on property that holds a lot of value. All the property across all this country or everywhere typically has a lot of value, and then therefore they can't just let it be this skate park that they're not going to make any money from. There are rare chances in examples, like I said. So I think the best thing you can do really is trying to go under a bridge or find property to build at. Luckily, recently I was approached from a friend of mine, and there's some private property that we do have permission to build some DIY skate spots on. So I will be going there and building some stuff in the further months, so make sure you're subscribed already if you're not. The future of DIY skate parks really does depend on the skateboarders, people like you that are watching this and willing to find out more about DIY skate parks and skate spots. So really it's just getting the community activated. I think as long as there's skaters out there building spots, it'll keep happening, and there'll be more amazing DIY skate parks all over the world, like Burnside and Washington Street. More and more of them will pop up, and I think bridges are a good place to start. You've seen Fred Gal recently, he's building a DIY skate park under bridge in his hometown in Jersey, and there's no flat ground. He's literally putting all the concrete on the flat ground, starting from scratch. So sometimes that is the route to go versus starting at a slab or something that's more accessible. Hopefully this video does inspire you and doesn't discourage you. Just because all the DIY spots that I've built recently are gone doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna keep doing it because I like making videos, hopefully empowering you to get out there and build skate spots as well. We just need them. It's good for the community. It's something fun to do, especially when you're not skating. It's something fun to do, and then when you can skate, ultimately you never know what's gonna happen. Like I showed you in the beginning of this video, the DIY skate spot that is still there. It's not really skatable, but the fact that it's still there in the city had put asphalt over it, and in the sketchiest possible location. I think we got really lucky in that situation, so you never know. Point being is you have to just get out there and make the effort. So hope you guys enjoy this quick little video. I'm still a little injured right now, slowly getting back to it, but I'm trying to stay off the board as much as possible. I appreciate all you. Subscribe if you're not already. See you in the next one. Mash.